Victory or death.
We'll work on it.
Wait. What are we looking at?
Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, right.
We forgot to mention this. Kranich plays a weird warrior.
Yeah, he's got a much different kill condition at the end of this. He wants it's Warsong Commander, or was it actually charge?
Well, I mean, he does have that Raging Organ for some big combo damage as well.
He had a charge effect in here to activate the Raging Organ. Was it? I don't remember if it was actually charge or if it was Warsong Commander.
I got pulled away for that series really quickly, so I didn't get a chance to look. But I do think he has one of those charge activators for sure.
And there's Rampage.
Right.
So the way this combo is going to work is Raging Organ is going to get Wind Fury whenever it's damaged, and it's going to get additional point of power on it. So when you use that with Cruel Taskmaster, you use a Rampage, and it's got charge. That is a ton of Wind Fury damage you're seeing coming at your face.
But that's in the future. But right now, looking at those hands of the players, both hands are pretty awkward. No early drops for Kolento, even though the deck is packed with early drops. No early drops for Kranich. Just having those executes.
He does have Innervate, so he has an availability of Druid the Claw. His concern is, well, what if he has Execute?
Yeah, he's thinking about Cruel Taskmaster Execute.
He still needs an enabler, so it's like Execute plus this Master, and that's two cards for possibly 2.5.
It'll be 2 cards effectively for 2. You know, they give you the coin for free, so the extra Innervate that you have. It's 2 cards and 2 cards, but you also get in 4 points of damage when you do that. And let's say your opponent doesn't have an Execute, this can really start to add up to a lot of damage.
Because we know,
he's
got nothing.
This is something where, like, we looked at it from our perspective, and we're like, yeah, you definitely should charge it out. But this is a risk versus reward opportunity, and in my experience, I tend to charge out this Druid.
Oh, he's going for it.
Let's see if he's going to charge it or not. He's going to go with Taunt, so a safe play. This is something again that Kolento likes to do. He likes to play it safe. And the reason he's doing this is because Death Spite is a card he anticipates his opponent playing. But from my perspective, I'm not sure I agree with that, because if you get in 4 points of damage now, and then 4 points of damage next turn, if your opponent plays Death Spite, they've taken 12 points of damage to those 2 cards. I think that's pretty good value.
Yeah, I think so. You pay an Innervate to essentially get 8 more damage right there.
Right.
So I think based off that,
maybe he's playing around Shield Block, Shield Slam as well.
Yeah, well, Shield Block, Shield Slam can't be done this turn, so I mean, you still deal 8 points of damage, though.
Oh, well, you like 4 points of damage, and then next turn they Shield Block, Shield Slam, and they kill your. Well, okay, you're right. It's 8. So.
Yeah. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more narrow of a range of playing against 2, I think. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to taunt it. It's just a very different style of play. I mean, this is the kind of style of play that's gotten him to this World Championships. It's very difficult to say that it's a mistake to play it this way. It's just, two very different perspectives from one small decision that would be made.
Right now he's in an awkward spot because he can't kill this Armor Smith with Wrath, and you probably don't want to give armor to your opponent. But
I think you're shredding your opponent's armor. If he has Execute or whatever, he has to do it on his own time.
He's going to have to use his Armor Smith anyway. Armor Smith, absolutely not a threat to anything that's happening on your side of the board. Makes all the sense in the world to attack your opponent there instead.
But still, it is an enabler, so the card wasn't that bad, and you will get 1 point of armor anyway.
Yep.
And he gets an Acolyte, so he will be able to play it as well.
Rampage just looks so silly sitting up there right now.
That's funny. You can actually Rampage your opponent's creature. Did you know that?
And then Big Game Hunter it.
Oh!
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, man. You are totally blowing my mind right now,
They have like a 2/2 on the board that you absolutely have to kill, and then you Cruel Taskmaster it to make it 4 power, then you Rampage it to make it 7, and then Big Game Hunter, you're like, you take that 2 power.
Yeah. I 3 for 1 yourself in the process, but I mean, whatever.
You get 4/2 out.
Think about a Rampage on an Acolyte of Pain. How much cards can you draw?
Oh yeah, that can make a big difference too. I've played with Rampage before, by the way. I wasn't satisfied with my results, but I definitely played with it.
Yes, it's got some okay, mediocre results, but at the same time, if it pays off, I mean, you just have to make it work once, and Kranich is in the semifinals.
Oh yeah, I used it way back in the day with Injured Blade Master. I'd play Injured Blade Master with Rampage.
I get it. Dude, you're blowing my mind. You got these next level decks that are so far ahead of the metagame. I mean, it'll probably be really cool with some of those cards in Goblins versus Gnomes, let me tell you.
Tough spot here for Kolento.
I think you just Wrath the 1 free to deny the draw.
It's so painful.
And then Shapeshift face for 1. Like, you don't want to use Innervate that much. It's it will be an awkward curve.
Yeah, I mean, using it off curve here, it definitely hurts a little bit, but I think it's fine. Like, what better opportunity are you going to have to use this Innervate?
Combo. Force of Nature Saboteur.
He picks up Ancient of Lore as well.
Wow, this is really interesting that he's choosing to save the Wrath instead of save the Swipe.
I like it.
Why does he choose to do that? Why do you like that so much?
with Wrath, you can still deal a similar amount of damage. You won't expect many minions from Warrior, so the one more damage is not that significant. You use all of the mana points you have, and Wrath can be more flexible, like versatile. You can still like cycle it to a card. And Kolento's hand is not great right now.
Oh, that's a good one, though.
Is the Ancient of Lord?
That's a reward coming.
There you go. That's one of the reasons you save it right there. This is an important card in this matchup. 2 extra cards in hand. That 5/5 is nothing to scoff at either.
Right.
Wow, there's an Inner Rage, too. Oh, my gosh. That Acolyte of Pain is a very good draw right now with what's going on.
But do you like Inner Rage and Rampage, the 3/5, make it into an 8/8?
Yeah, then he'd be at 23 after the attack. That's a great use of all those cards. 3 damage apiece.
I mean, he's got so much damage potential with Kranich, Inner Rage, and Rampage.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about how much that could do.
Yeah, definitely looking towards using this Acolyte of Pain and drawing cards with it.
Yeah.
With this Inner Rage.
You need to
too.
draw cards.
Yeah, and then if that Acolyte of Pain, which is very likely to survive a turn, could potentially get Rampage to take out another minion. That could be a big deal too.
What now?
He has a couple of full plays. He can even armor up and finish the 5/5. Attack into the 5/5 with a 3/5.
Yeah.
Finish it with a shield.
I like that play a lot.
And do you play Acolyte of Pain after that? I think you can.
Yeah, I would play Acolyte of Pain and I would straight away Inner Rage it.
Yeah, deny it from being able to get silence and you lose card draw.
Exactly.
I mean, you're using cards to remove here. You need to catch up a little bit. That Ancient of Lord is huge.
Wow, he's going to go with the Execute instead, which means he really values their damage this Sludge Belch is going to bring. Acolyte of Pain's still not a bad play here. This is not a bad play by any means, but this is a very different approach, I think, that a lot of people are taking. Really valuing the idea of drawing a shield block with that shield slam here.
Well, if Kolento is able to deal with this board, then Kranich will be in trouble. He is running low on cards. He will draw one more card for Acolyte of Pain. But if there will be like Keeper of the Grove, it could shut down the draw.
Well, if he chooses to Wrath here, he's not going to be able to play any. So, I mean, that's something to account for too. So,
Right.
I'm going to be interested to see how he plays this turn. This game would have played out very differently if I was on either side of this, but again, I'm at the casting desk, these guys. Championships, so.
And we enjoy it. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, the Echoing Oozes gets so much great synergy off that Defender of Arc.
Yeah.
But by playing it, you allow that Acolyte to draw a couple of cards. He's going for Force of Nature.
Wow.
That's something that didn't jump out immediately to me either. Yeah, but it doesn't even remove Sludge Belcher effectively 1 card for 1 card.
Yeah,
But he feels like this is what he needs to do.
that's actually not bad. Not only he removes the Sludge Belcher, he also doesn't proc the Acolyte.
So it was Charge. I knew it was one of these two. I didn't know which one.
Right.
He's putting together this weird combo. Charge and
Raging Worgen.
For Raging Worgen.
I mean, props to him.
Is there merit to just like charging your Acolyte of Pain here and just starting to get in for 3?
The problem is you don't draw cards with that, so... I would agree if it's the only thing you can do, but in this case, Kranich can pass. It's not... He's not forced by any means.
He could shield slam the Acolyte before armoring up.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think that's a good idea either.
I don't know if that's the best. I mean, once you've held on to this, it's got 4 natural armor too. Yeah, I think it's fine. Just attack for 2 and pass. You know, part of the benefit of the Warriors is that the longer the game goes on, sort of the better position the Warrior feels like it's in.
Well, if it plays traditional Control Warrior, when you're playing a combo-oriented one, I don't know how much of a window of an opportunity you have. Your opponent does have some taunts that can give you problems, especially considering you use both of your executes already.
Yeah, definitely. That is something really important to note. We look at Kolento's hand, 2 Defenders of Argus and a Druid of the Claw. I'm curious how pressured Kolento feels. Like he's got to remember that this is the Rampage Raging version. So
he knows.
I'm curious how much pressure that actually might influence the way he's played this matchup a lot, where he's chosen to kind of go slow and enforce removal spells from his opponent.
Swiping the Acolyte.
Yeah, he feels a lot more comfortable scaling into the late game for this deck because he's going to see fewer legendaries from his opponent. So if he can sit behind a wall of taunts and then manage to pick off what his opponent's done, I think that's a really good way to try to pick up a victory this game.
What do you think about roughing the 1/2, killing it, then charging with a Druid face, like denying the armor?
I think it makes a lot of sense. It just, I feel like he's going to use this Druid of the Claw to try to taunt at some point in the mid game. He's committed a lot to this style of play right here, where he wants to play the game slow and make sure that he's getting a lot of value from his cards, and trying to force his opponent to react to what he's doing instead of the other way around. That's what it feels like he's been trying to accomplish this game.
Iron Begal seems like a blank, but I certainly appreciate the fact that Iron Begal made it to another deck.
Oh yeah, it's just been every deck so far. So good. The only deck I think I haven't seen in so far is Druid, by the way. Because Druid has 2 keepers in the grove, so it has access to those silence.
You don't need them that much.
Yeah.
Well, you can rampage the token. Just throwing it out there.
Wow, a 4/4. That's annoying.
I don't mind that play at all.
I mean, I don't know how much you're saving the rampage for combos, but that seems to be a pretty strong way to seize control of the board.
He's looking at it too. Do you feel comfortable using your Grommash here without actually killing your opponent, or do you feel like it's you need to hang on to it at this point?
I would be afraid to do that.
Why exactly are you afraid? Do you anticipate big game hunter from your opponent who's played like echoing news and things like that?
I would be afraid that it's getting moved, and then I lose all the aggro potential. If he has like a second force of nature, and specifically because the first one was used like casually.
Sure. All right.
Look at that rampage news. It's angry. It means business.
I mean,
oh gosh.
That all came from just a sludge belcher.
Yeah. Ooh, Special Knight's not a bad one.
Yeah,
Wow,
not bad at all. Although you can silence it and remove it. So there are ways for Warrior to deal with, even though we said Special Knight can be problematic.
Still, this warrior deck is really different. So what Kranich is doing right now, he's just building up armor, sitting there, and building up a 1-turn kill combo, or like maybe two-turn kill.
Yeah,
right?
he still needs Alex Strauss if he's going to get to
He's
that
also
point.
he's used Rampage at this point too, so that's a lot less damage he's going to have to really pressure through that.
And he needs an enabler for Grommash. But still, I think like this is anybody's game.
Oh, certainly.
I feel like his enabler for Grommash this game is just going to be attacking one of his opponent's minions and waiting a turn. That's what it feels like to me.
I think he wants to also utilize Shield Slam before he loses his armor, so he's really thinking about how effectively to play this turn, because if this Spectre Knight keeps attacking, I mean, is there any guarantee that he can get something off?
Wow, he's going to use Grommash straight away, right into the echoing use. This feels like if you didn't use Grommash last turn, I don't really understand. Oh, and there's Big Game Hunter.
Kolento can't help but laugh at that one.
This is how you advance.
Wow, that is a huge draw right now.
I didn't even know he's playing one.
What an ill-timed Grommash. And this is likely to get charged,
my
and here we go.
Oh, no, don't
The
do this,
damage is
Kolento.
pouring in.
That Grommash had a family.
Not anymore.
Oh, there goes that man.
Wow.
What a big swing in this game. I mean,
Sludge Belcher is a good card to get.
Kolento looks to me like he's almost embarrassed.
he doesn't want to look at
Kranich.
Kranich. He's like, don't look up.
Kranich hasn't flinched, by the way. He's just like, oh, Big Game Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a heart of a champion right now. If you can endure that.
Well, this board
wow.
getting picked apart by shield slams, but still a lot of gas.
Ooh,
on
man,
Kolento's-
that's a great target for Defender, Vargas.
That's going to continue to build
Although
up
there's a
turn after
Black
turn.
Knight.
There is Black Knight.
Oh, you taunt both, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just too tasty, but the Black Knight will drop.
I mean, Black Knight's almost certainly getting played this turn regardless of what happens.
Sure.
I mean, a 5-4 is a pretty good deal, I think, for a Black Knight.
But I mean, you dealt with one of the ways for your opponent to kill you. Now you just have to worry about that charge combination.
Yep.
And then there's a very realistic possibility that Warrior doesn't have anything else. Although they do have the Alex Strauzer, right? So that is also another creature you get to deal with.
There is one part of the combo, but still Kolento is very high on life. But 26 and 1 armor is a lot.
I'm kind of surprised Kolento actually didn't attack his hero power last turn. A little surprising. So just hero powered again this turn. They're going second Shade
wow.
and Axe Rhombus.
Oh, man.
This board is getting cleared.
That Shade will continue to grow.
So you play another Shade, you taunt both of
Taunt
the
both
Shades.
Shades.
Both Shades, kill the 4/5, kill the 1/2, hero power face.
Shade of Taunt Rhombus.
Shade of Taunt Rhombus.
Imagine that card just had Taunt. Just like to go along
Not
with
bad, Admirable.
it. That was actually really terrible. But
No, it wasn't bad.
Into the
So
bridge.
Froda,
5 out of 10 with punishment.
Froda, tell me, how do you win this game being a warrior?
Oh, you still can win. It's gonna be hard because you need to draw the exact cards you need to start putting on pressure back on the Druid, because these Shades and X Rammus are the biggest threat coming down in a few turns.
That is a card, which is good, a good card. How much
That's-
damage is this?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 16 points of damage right now.
If he gets Rampage, he wins.
Oh, but he does have taunt creatures. But they don't activate unless they break stealth. I learned that from the Innkeeper. Hey.
And Keeper is such a good feature.
Hey, hey.
Oh my God, this might seal it.
This has been the perfect storm for Kranich with the series of draws that Kolento's picked up.
Now let me ask you this though. Kolento just saw his opponent on like turn 39 million, just armor and pass. How afraid of Brawl are you right now?
If you're,
Does he run, bro?
I think he's not, because
Have we
if you're
seen the full
Kolento,
30?
if you're Kolento, you know what your opponent is playing.
Well, I mean, at this point, wouldn't he just play Brawl if he's under this much pressure?
I don't know. Maybe he wants to try to bait you into playing some more minions and get some more value out of it.
Oh man, if that would be
Pyromancer.
if that
He
would be a
must probably berserk
Rampage,
in this deck, right?
Rampage would be lethal,
I don't
right?
think he does. Rampage would have been 6 more damage, so 16 plus 6. No, it would have been 22
Oh,
damage. Yeah, a couple points off.
Do you clear this?
No, he's just trying to play minions to challenge the board instead. And hopefully there's no more taunts, but we do have two taunt minions coming up. Even a Keeper of the Grove to snipe.
Keeper is a fantastic card.
Yeah,
as
he's still in a similar position though. Like, how comfortable does he feel playing against Brawl right now?
Sure.
I mean, if that was in his head last turn, it's certainly in his mind this turn.
And then
Whether he changes his conclusion is another story, but certainly something to think about.
I must say.
Is he playing around Raging Working Combo as well?
Yeah, he is, absolutely. He saw this from Kranich. It sounds ridiculous if he hasn't met Kranich before, but he's seen his deck.
Yeah.
Kranich did reveal this combo deck before.
I mean, Kranich just... If you can find other ways to tear damage with his Raging War,
He's only got 1 Rampage in here, right? You can't run 2 Rampages, can you? Can you? Oh, jeez.
So how much damage again is like
Well,
Raging War again?
16 points of damage.
So Kranich realizes that it's do or die at this point. If his opponent has Savage Roar, it's over.
Yeah, but Kolento's got Defender of Argus, and he's got Lotheb to make sure that these minions and these spells cannot push through for lethal this turn.
Right.
But, you know, still in his mind is Brawl something that he's worried about.
If so, does he trade any of his minions away?
At this point, I don't think Brawl is something he's worried about because his opponent, I think, would have brawled last turn after they played
Before
Alex
Alex
and said, right, and said, well played in this position, unless he's really getting mind gamed.
That is
There's just
true.
no
We've
coming.
seen that underplayed a lot. The fact that you can see your opponent. I mean, both these guys refusing to look at each other, or struggling to keep their eyes open. Either way, fatigue is definitely settling into the equation here.
Yeah.
If Kolento plays any of those minions, if he plays this Defender of Argus, he is putting himself in a position to win this game next turn.
Yep.
And is he going to do it?
I think so. The Defender of Argus seems a great choice. Once again, refused to play Lotheb, so that way he has something on the board in case something goes horribly, disastrously wrong.
Wait a minute.
Needs a brawl.
Is the Fiery War Axe here going to be lethal?
Yes.
Oh, you're right. Oh, he still has a chance.
A weapon is lethal.
Oh,
wait.
Oh
That's
my
lethal.
gosh.
That's exactly
He has
10.
the
4, 5,
exact
6,
mana
7,
for
8.
kill him.
He's got exactly lethal with that
Oh
top deck.
my God.
Ronan, I cannot believe it. That was a huge draw right
16
now.
points of damage, 10 points of mana.
Charge! Inner range! Unbelievable!
Kolento eliminated from the tournament. Kranich is going to advance.
Kranich jumps out in huge shock and celebration. He has somehow upset Kolento.
He finally smiled.
And advanced into the semifinals.
I am stunned right now. I cannot believe it. That I'm speechless.
That was
how do you
crazy.
How do you even play around that combo?
That
He
don't
was
know.
double
absolutely
He
insane.
needed to play Lotheb
You
that
can't
turn.
play around that.
He needed to play Lotheb that turn to play around
that
it.
turn.
You
That
have-
was the only way.
You have 15 points of health, 1 point of armor, double taunts, and you still lose.
Yeah.
Just staying at 1 dragon.
He needed to play Lotheb that turn to be able to seal it.
Stunning finish to that best of 5, and we have our second semifinal.